good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Whee!
Clap your hands,
Clap, clap, clap.
Stomp your feet, stomp, stomp, stomp. Spin around, spin, spin, spin. Alright! Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Everybody! Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Whee!
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Wash your hands, wash, wash, wash. Shake your hands,
Shake, shake, shake.
Brush your teeth,
Brush, brush, brush.
Good morning.
Oh, man. What a great morning. What a great morning. Shitter's full. Let me turn the light on. Yeah. Let there be light. Yeah, good morning and that. It's Uncle Lou here. Yeah, that's right. It's me, Uncle Lou, and I'm live for you on LouTube today. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. Also, in addition to that as well, this is the morning show with Uncle Lou. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern. It's an amazing show, so I appreciate all of you tuning in. I'm considering expanding the morning show to 5 days a week, probably sometime in January. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to wait and see how it goes once the season really ends. If there's still enough people watching to make it worthwhile, then I'm going to expand the show. I'm trying to find ways to keep people more involved with the channel during the off season. We do okay in the off season here, but obviously with this being a college football channel, it drops off a lot from basically the middle of January till around the middle of June. People start paying attention again. So I'm trying to come up with ways to keep it, to keep the channel alive during the off season. And these morning shows, I think, are a good way to do it. We talk a lot of college football on these morning shows now because it's during the season. But even now, it's really been about 50-50 college football and 50% other stuff. So in the off season, that'll give us time to talk about a lot of other stuff that maybe might not be football related. We'll still talk about college football in the off season, obviously, anytime there's anything to talk about. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. Don't forget the nighttime show too, Tuesday, Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern. Those are the call-in shows, so take calls from all over, and we do those year-round too. We have the worst of the worst playoffs coming up in January. If this is your first year following the channel, this is something we do every January after the season ends. We do like an informal poll where we try to figure out, okay, who were the worst 4 Power 5 teams? So like off the top of my head, teams like Georgia Tech, Rutgers, Arkansas, Maryland, whatever. We'll figure it out. 4 worst teams. And we do a playoff involving those 4 teams. I have NCAA 14 on the Xbox 360. That's an old game, but it's the most recent version of the game, of course. And I have all the rosters updated to the current rosters. So we decide on 4 teams. We seed them 1 through 4, and then we have a playoff. 1 plays 4, 2 plays 3. But we're trying to crown the worst team. So what happens is whoever loses advances. Right? you basically don't want to win those games. So if we had Georgia Tech playing Rutgers, right? If Georgia Tech loses in the first round, they advance to the championship game. And then whoever loses the championship game gets crowned the worst of the worst for 2019. And we'll do that. We usually start that about a week after the national championship game. And then, so that's what we'll do again. And we've been doing that 2 or 3 years in a row now. And then I'm going to add a second one to it this year, too. The disappointment playoffs. And this is going to be better teams. So not the worst teams, but the teams that were maybe the most disappointing based off of preseason expectations. So like Texas was very disappointing this year. Florida State, Miami. We'll figure it out. Same type of thing. And we'll try to figure out who was the most disappointing team. And we'll stream the playoffs on NCAA 14. I hook it up through the computer here. So if you haven't, if it's your first year on the channel, stay tuned for that. Like I said, we start that about a week after the season ends. I'm also thinking about streaming some of the bowl games before the bowl games are played. What do you guys think about that? Like, what I would do is on Tuesday and Thursday nights when we do the call-in show, I would do the call-in show just like normal. But then when the call-in show typically ends, which is around 11, we do it from about 10 to 11. When the call-in portion of the show ends around 11, streaming one of the bowl games, and we can decide which ones we want to do. Obviously, the playoff games would be fun to do, but there's other interesting games and matchups too. So we might do that over the next 2 or 3 weeks between now and when the bowl games are played. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Yeah, you feel me. Jesse Stacy, good morning. Thank you for the super chat. Did you watch HBO special last night, Saban and Belichick? It was good. Should watch if you didn't. No, I didn't watch it, but I do have HBO through Amazon Prime, so I'll have to check it out. Of course, the biggest difference between those two, Belichick keeps getting caught cheating. I don't understand it. They just got caught again. Doing the same thing they were caught doing years ago, filming the opposing team's sideline during a game, play calls and hand signals and whatnot. And, of course, Bill Belichick doesn't know anything about it, and he doesn't know how it happened, and he never even watched the tapes and yada, yada, yada. But, I don't know. It's hard to believe that. Brock Tony, thank you for the super chat. Wire fans making a big deal about Derek King. I don't know why either. Now, I like him. He's amazing. He's a great quarterback, I think. I think the decision he made is very strange. He had 1 year of eligibility left, but he had never redshirted before. So he started the season this year. It was his last season of eligibility. Houston was terrible. So after the fourth game, because, you can play 4 games in a season and still redshirt. So if you don't know the story, he's the quarterback for Houston, a dual-threat quarterback. He's been really good the last couple of years. And, of course, Houston has a whole new coaching staff this year. And so the season starts. Derek King's doing okay. If you remember, he had a pretty good game against Oklahoma. I think that was back in week 1 or 2. But Houston was just a terrible team overall this year. And so week 4 came around, and he basically said, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and sit this one out. And that's what he did. He said, I'm not playing the rest of the year. Now, at the time, he said, I'm not transferring. I'm not leaving Houston. I'm just not going to play anymore this year. I'll come back next year and play my last year. Basically, he wasn't hurt. It was very strange. And that's what he did. He sat out the rest of the year. So he took this as his redshirt year. And so now he has still his 1 last year of eligibility left. So then there's a lot of rumors, of course, all year that, well, he is going to transfer, even though he said he's not. Of course he's going to transfer. Why else would he sit out? The whole thing is just kind of weird. But as far as the Georgia fans talking about him coming to Georgia, any quarterback that has 1 year of eligibility left would be crazy to come to Georgia in 2020. We all know Jake Fromm is the starter, and there's nothing that anyone can do to change that. I mean, barring injury or death, Jake Fromm is starting at Georgia as long as he's there. I mean, that's just been proven. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure why anyone thinks Derek or Derek, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, King, would even have any interest at all in coming to Georgia. To be honest, I don't see why any dual threat quarterback at all right now would be interested in coming to Georgia, but particularly one with only 1 year of eligibility left. So I don't know what benefit it would be to Derek King to come ride the bench at UGA for his last ever year of college. It just wouldn't make any sense to me. So I don't know about that. Waikiki, thank you for the super chat, sir. Is Bet Now going to be covering the worst of the worst and the disappointing playoffs? No. So if y'all want to set up, if y'all want to make bets on those games yourself, we'll have to have somebody to, we'll have to handicap those games. I think we did that last year. We said like, oh, Arkansas is a 7-point favorite over Rutgers or whatever. But no, Bet Now doesn't have anything to do with the worst of the worst, playoffs. Thank you for the super chat, though. The Nature Boy, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says FIU sent Hurricane Zoe into a tropical depression. I'm going to be honest with you. I've gone back and forth with several people over the years on YouTube. I've never seen anybody go this completely off the deep end before, as I have with him. And what makes this one unusual is that in the past, people that I've gone back and forth with has been people that I never really liked to start with, or they never really liked me to start with, or whatever. I've been talking and texting back and forth with Alonzo for probably a year. He texts me and calls me all the time asking me for YouTube advice and, ideas for his channel and what he should do and all that kind of stuff. And, I mean, it's not like I watched him all the time. I don't watch, but that's not an insult. I don't watch anybody all the time, really, because I don't have time to. But I watched him every once in a while. But yeah, when they lost to FIU, he went completely off the deep end, because I said FIU was better than Miami, and he just completely lost his mind. I mean, I've literally never seen anybody take the nosedive like he's taken in the last couple of weeks. It's been strange to see. Did you get your LSU championship hat yet? You know what? Let's see if we can find one right now. I'll have to order it online. If Georgia would have won, of course, there would have been stores around here selling them. But nobody around here. Nobody around here is going to be selling them. So let's see. LSU championship hat. What is this? Oh, 60% off. Use code what? Use code Twinkle. Let's see. Is it okay? I know LSU's colors are purple and gold. Is it okay if I get the black one, though? Let me go back to the comments real quick. Hold on a second. I'll order one of these here, but is it okay if I get the black? I like the black one. Or am I gonna, or do I have to get the purple one? Zoe said Miami is going 12-0. That doesn't surprise me. I've been saying for 3 weeks that Miami fans are the new Tennessee fans. Tennessee spent years and years saying they were winning the East next year. Not very many of them are doing that anymore because 10 years of getting slapped in the face tend to has an effect on you. But I'm not surprised that Alonzo's doing that now. Okay, I'll get the black one. I'll get the black one. Ships free with code Twinkle. Okay, good. Add to cart. Yeah, I do have a code. It's code Twinkle, in case you didn't know. All right. PayPal. Hold on. I don't know what it's going to show on this screen if I pull up my PayPal. Hold on. Says it'll arrive in 3 to 7 days. It might be longer though, with it being the holidays. All right, let me do this. I have to move something around here. Okay. To cover something up. Hold on. All right, there you go. Thank you for your order. All right, it's ordered. So, what was the deal? When it comes in, I'll make a series of videos while wearing that hat. That was the deal. If anybody doesn't know why I did that, it wasn't a bet that I made because I didn't win anything if Georgia won. Somebody just made a comment one day. Blah, blah, blah. If LSU wins, you should, something about an LSU. I said, okay. I said, yeah, I'll do that. If LSU wins, I'll. Oh, I was wearing the Georgia SEC championship hat one night on a live stream or something, and somebody mentioned something about the LSU. So anyway, that's where that came from. So LSU won. So there you go. I just ordered the hat. It said it'll be here in 3 to 7 days. Keep in mind that it is Christmas time. So, but I'll keep you updated as soon as it comes in. I'll wear it during a series of hopefully even if it takes a little bit longer than 3 to 7 days, I should definitely have it in before the playoffs start. So if that's the case, if I get it in, which I'm sure I will, then what I'll do is that whole week leading up to round 1 of the playoffs, which I guess is the week between Christmas and New Year's, I'll wear that LSU hat in a series of uploaded videos where I talk about the LSU Oklahoma game, and I'll wear it on some live streams too. So there you go. Uncle Lou, man of his word. Yeah. Matthew Perry, thank you for the super chat. He says, what do you think about Jake Bentley going to Utah? Is that confirmed? But Utah's a good team. And I don't think Jake Bentley's a great quarterback, but it'd be interesting to see if he could even start there, to be honest. I know they're losing a good one this year. I don't know who they have behind. What's the quarterback's name for Utah? Is it Tyler Huntley? Is that Utah's quarterback? Anyway, I don't know who they have behind him. But so I'm assuming though they don't have much. Usually when people transfer, they do a pretty good job of transferring somewhere where they're like 90% sure they can start, right? Except for that Alex Hornibrook. That idiot transferred to Florida State just to ride the bench on a terrible team. That doesn't make any sense. But generally speaking, when you see a quarterback transfer, they transfer somewhere where they're pretty sure they're going to start, right? Joey Gatewood to Kentucky. They have no quarterback at all. Clearly he'll start. Kelly Bryant to Missouri, right? Wherever Felipe Franks goes, it'll be somewhere where he's pretty sure he's going to be able to start. So we'll see. I'm not very high on Jake Bentley overall. I never have been. He turns the ball over way too much. Now, could he have some success at Utah? Maybe. The schedule won't be as difficult as it is at South Carolina, but He takes way too many chances, in my opinion. I always say about Fromm, he doesn't take enough chances. Bentley takes too many chances. You need something in between. He's a turnover machine. Jake Bentley is. So I don't know. We'll see how he does there. That'll be interesting to see. But thank you for the super chat, Matthew. Jesse Stacy, thank you. LSU is like Vanilla Ice, a one-hit wonder. That's an interesting argument, Jesse, and it's possible because right now there's an argument, and I think a legitimate one too, not just about Joe Burrow, but believe it or not, Jesse, I know you're an Alabama fan. There are people who wonder this about Alabama too. Is it the quarterback or is it the system? There are, and I think that's a legitimate argument. In other words, do you think that Joe Burrow is just a million times better physically? Like he got that much better from last year to this year? Because you guys watched him play last year. He wasn't terrible, but he wasn't the quarterback he is this year. So how much of it is the quarterback and how much of it is the system? And I bring that up because, of course, Joe Burrow will be gone this year. Likely Tua will too. I know there's some rumors about Tua and 2 or 3 of the other juniors trying to hatch some kind of secret Clemson plan like Clemson did a couple of years ago where all the juniors come back. We'll see if that actually happens. But the point is, who's the next guy in line behind Joe Burrow? If there's an LSU fan in the chat, let us know. What's the quarterback situation look like behind Joe Burrow, and what do y'all think about that? I don't think you can just put any quarterback in that system and they'll put up Joe Burrow numbers. So I don't believe that. But I do think the system helps. But I think you have to have a quarterback who can succeed in that system. Right? I mean, systems do matter. If you took Jake Fromm and put him in Oklahoma's offense, he's not going to have Jalen Hurts numbers or Kyler Murray numbers because he can't do the running around. So, clearly the quarterback has to fit a certain system, but it's the Joe Burrow thing is interesting because we saw him not even get any playing time at Ohio State, then transfer to LSU and just do sort of okay. I mean, he didn't wow anybody last year. There was no one talking about Joe Burrow last year and how great he was. This year, he's the greatest quarterback on earth. This could end up being one of the most lopsided Heisman votes in history. I can't see anybody voting for anyone other than Burrow. And I think Justin Fields has had a great year. I think Chase Young has had a great year. I think Jalen Hurts has had a great year. J.K. Dobbins, Travis Etienne, Jonathan Taylor. Like, there's a lot of players that have had great years. I can't imagine any Heisman voter voting for anyone other than Joe Burrow. It could be the most lopsided or one of the most lopsided Heisman votes ever. So it's an interesting question. Back to your comment, Jesse. LSU is like Vanilla Ice, a one-hit wonder. We'll find out if that's true because LSU has a history since 2011 of recruiting below-average quarterbacks or at least quarterbacks who didn't really succeed at the college level. It looked like Joe Burrow was going to be the next one in that line last year, but then you changed the offense this year, and all of a sudden Joe Burrow looks like a combination of Steve Young and Tom Brady. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So we'll see what happens with LSU next year in terms of quarterback play. Is it the system or is it the quarterback? We'll see what happens at Alabama with Mac Jones replacing Tua. We'll see. At Oklahoma, it appears to me to be the system. But as much as, you can hate Oklahoma all you want, and we can rag on their defense, and I do, and they have no chance against LSU. We all know that. Their offense it's unbelievable. It's plug and play. Lincoln Riley is probably considered right now the best offensive mind in all of football, not just college football, but in all of football. There are probably a dozen NFL teams that would hire him tomorrow if they thought they could get him. And there's been NFL teams that have brought him in the offseason just to teach them the RPO system that he uses. But so it's an interesting debate to have. Is it the quarterback or is it the system? I honestly, this isn't really an answer, I guess, but I think it's both. I think you have to have the quarterback. Obviously, has to have the talent and the ability to start with, but clearly, I think the system matters. Jay Rizzle, thank you for the super chat. He says, I'll pay for half of it. Oh, half to half. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. Brock Tony, thank you for the super chat, sir. I'm excited. I'm going to the Peach Bowl. Boomer. Yeah, well, have fun. Yeah, it'll be a good one. You'll be. I'm not far from there. About an hour and a half from there. Yeah, I've never been to a bowl game. Big, small, whatever. And I've never been to a bowl game ever. But you'll have a good time, I'm sure. I can't see I can't see LSU winning that game. For one, I just think LSU's I can't see Oklahoma winning. I think LSU's a better team, and I don't know. It's I think Oklahoma's in the same sort of situation they have been the last couple of years. A good enough offense to win the Big 12 and make the playoffs, but I just don't think they have a complete enough team to win a playoff game. I don't think of the 4 playoff teams, Oklahoma, and then you got LSU, Ohio State, and Clemson. Oklahoma, of course, was ranked 4th, and I think that's fair because I don't think Oklahoma would beat any of those three teams. We'll see if they can even keep it close. I actually think this year's Oklahoma team is the worst of the last 3 that they've had. I think Oklahoma was better in 2017 than they are this year. I think they were better in 2018 than they are this year, particularly on offense. They are a little bit better defensively this year, but offensively, I think they were way better the last 2 years than they are this year. And I think, unfortunately for them, it's going to result in yet another first-round playoff loss. Somebody said something about Bowl Mania. Don't forget, yesterday's video that I made, what was that video even called so people can find it? It's not the live stream from last night, but the video that I uploaded yesterday during the day. What's it called? Oh, it's called Bowl Pick'em. Bowl Pick'ems, Miami Hurricanes Walk-On Bowl, and the worst of the worst playoffs. It's the video I uploaded yesterday around lunchtime. Click on that video. In the description of that video, there's a link to the ESPN Bowl Challenge thing. It's a private group that I created for us. It's password protected, but the password is good morning, one word, uppercase letters, good morning. And all that information is listed in the description of yesterday's video called Bowl Pick'ems. Click on that video, look at the description, click the link. When it asks for the password, enter good morning. Get entered in the bowl challenge that we're doing. It's not. It doesn't cost anything. It's not for money. It's not a confidence. It's just straight picking the winners of all the bowl games. No spread. It's just picking the winners straight up. And we did this last year, and so we're going to do it again this year. It's great for trash talk purposes too. Obviously, if you win the thing, then you earn some serious bragging rights, because you can then go around on this channel for the entire next year telling people that you were the smartest college football person on the channel because you won, right? But not only that, even if you don't win, you can trash talk everyone that finished worse than you, right? So anyway, get signed up, join that. We have a good time with it. We had a good time with it last year. And what we'll do is during the live shows, once the bowl games start, during the live shows, I'll pull the standings up on the screen, and we'll go through them, every couple of days during the live show, so we can see who's winning, who's losing, who's an idiot, who can't get any game right. It'll be fun to do. I think anyway. Let's see if there's any news this morning. Let's see. What is this? What is this? What are you doing? I don't know. Yes, you do. No, you don't. Yes, you do. Is there any news? Probably not. Let's see. Former Texas quarterback Vince Young headlines Hall of Fame. Let's see who made it into Hall of Fame. College Football Hall of Fame. Have y'all ever been to the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta? I've been once. It's okay. I'll be honest with you. It's not great, which is disappointing to me. The 2019 College Football Hall of Fame. Blah, blah, blah. Vince Young. Who else? Notre Dame receiver Rocket Ismail. Arkansas running back Darren McFadden. Dennis Erickson. Joe Taylor. North Carolina State wide receiver Torrey Holt. He played for the Rams back at the Greatest Show on Turf days. Remember that? Joe Thomas, that's no surprise. Started in the NFL forever. Beast offensive lineman. Jake the Snake Plummer, quarterback from Arizona State. I remember him. Michigan State running back Lorenzo White. I'm not sure if I remember him or not, 85 to 87, but I would have only been 8, 9 years old, 10 years old. No, 8 or 9 years old. So I don't know that I remember him, though. Defensive guys, Florida State DB Terrell Buckley. I do remember him. This was when Florida State really first started to take off. Late 80s, early 90s under Bobby Bowden. Oklahoma defensive back Ricky Dixon. I don't remember him either, but again, I was 6 years old in 1984. So John Carroll, linebacker, London Fletcher. He played for the Bills, I think, for a long time, right, in the NFL, Buffalo Bills. I don't remember him from college, but I do remember him from the NFL. Texas A&M defensive lineman Jacob Green. I don't remember him. USC safety, everybody knows Troy Polamalu, right? And then played for the Steelers forever, too. All-pro safety forever for the safeties. Mississippi State linebacker Patrick Willis. Everybody should remember him. He was on that 49ers defense sort of, when was that, like 7, 8 years ago when they were pretty good. They had a really good defense for a bunch of years. Patrick Willis was on that team, so I remember him. I don't know that I remember him playing for Ole Miss, though. Yeah, that's it for that. 2 Nebraska players facing sexual assault charges. Love leaving Utah State to enter NFL. I'm not surprised by this here. He's pretty good. Jordan Love, is that his name? He's pretty good. Here. I almost made a video about this yesterday. Maybe I should have. Auburn hires former Arkansas coach Chad Morris as offensive coordinator. Okay, here's my issue. Here's my issue with this. We go through this every couple of years with the barn. Every couple of years. And it's starting to, it's almost starting to become funny now. Auburn will, well, wasn't it last season? Remember, Auburn was terrible last season. They were going to fire Gus again for the umpteenth time. Can't take it anymore. We're losing too many games. So what does Gus Malzahn say? Well, I'm just going to get rid of the offensive coordinator, and I'm just going to call plays, and that'll save the day. We roll into 2019. What did the Barn go, 9-3? Well, they beat Alabama, so that's a successful season for the Barn. They could go 1-11 if they beat Alabama. They're happier than the pig in poop. So, but now you're hiring an offensive coordinator again. I'm not saying Chad Morris is a bad offensive coordinator. I think he's a pretty good offensive coordinator. But the thing is, no matter how good or bad he is, if you have a bad year in 2020 or 2021 or 2022, whenever you have your next bad year, don't we know what Gus is going to do? He's going to blame Chad Morris. This is just a routine for Auburn that they've been through 4 or 5 times since Gus became head coach there. This just keeps happening over and over. They hire an offensive coordinator. Maybe they have a good year. Maybe they, whatever. But as soon as they have a bad year, It's the offensive coordinator's fault. He doesn't understand Gus Malzahn's offense. They're not getting along. Let's get rid of the offensive coordinator. Gus is going to go back to calling plays and save the day. A year or two goes by, in this case, just one season, and then you hire another offensive coordinator. Well, this one will work this time. This one sees eye to eye with Gus. They have the same philosophies or whatever. You know, they have a good year, couple of good years, whatever. The first bad year comes along. Here we go again. We got fired the offensive coordinator. It's not working. He doesn't understand Gus's offense, blah, blah, blah. This just keeps happening over and over and over again with Auburn. Not that Auburn is the only team that goes through coordinators. Coordinators leave or get fired from teams all the time. But at Auburn, it's the same story every time at Auburn. And then they go a year without one where I'm gonna call my own plays. I'm the only one that can do it. And then you beat Alabama calling your own plays, and you turn right around and go and hire Chad Morris, offensive coordinator. So, again, I'm not saying this is a bad hire. Chad Morris ended up being a terrible head coach at Arkansas. It remains to be seen whether anybody can be successful at Arkansas right now. Sam Pittman's about to find that out. But he wasn't good there. He was making them worse, it appeared. But I do think he's a good offensive coordinator, so that's not the point. But this just keeps happening over and over with the barn. I don't understand. I really don't understand that. Hugh Freeze gets multi-year extension from Liberty for making a bowl game. What a crook this Hugh Freeze is. What a snake handler. A snake oil salesman. This Hugh Freeze is. You know, I saw this headline yesterday. Nevada players disciplined for brawl against UNLV. Am I the only one that never saw this? I didn't even know there was a brawl. Is there a video of this thing I can find somewhere? I don't see it on here. Nevada players disciplined for brawl against UNLV. Is there a... Did any of y'all see that? I didn't know anything about that. Let me see if I can find a video of that on YouTube, maybe. Let's see. UNLV Nevada fight. What are they fighting the fans? What is this? Oh, there's fans jumping in there. Now that's just ridiculous. They ought to beat the hell out of that fan.
This is an ugly finish to a tremendous football game.
Absolutely. Started off with a great catch, great throw, middle of the field wide.
If you're a fan and you jump down in the middle of that, you deserve to have your ass beat. Period. Is that what happened? That's what it looked like to me.
Jay Norvell's in the middle of that, trying to...
Manalo sila. They won. Oh shit! Shit! What's going on there? Look! Look! Oh shit! 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 Oh shit!
Get off our field. Okay. I read that yesterday, and I said, and I don't remember hearing about that, and I remember reading that or seeing that headline or something yesterday and going, I need to, what is that? And I must have been busy doing something and I forgot to look it up. But was that? It looked like a fan. It looked like a fan jumped in there. Now that's crazy. if you're a fan and you get involved in something like that, you deserve whatever happens to you. Remember the big, was it the Detroit Pistons and the Indiana Pacers from, I guess that's been about 15 years ago now, that big brawl in the NBA when Ben Wallace, was that his name? Ben Wallace, and a few of the players actually ran up into the stands, and there was fans down on the floor. I mean, that was crazy. This Nevada UNLV fight wasn't anything on that level, obviously. Yeah, the Malice in the Palace, man, that was something serious. Ron Artest, yeah. Man, those of you who might be a little younger and don't know what that is, watch that on YouTube. I would play it, but that thing's about an hour long, so I'm not gonna sit here and watch it now and play it now. But if you're a little younger or you're not into basketball at all and you somehow missed that, look that up on YouTube later. The Malice in the Palace, Pistons, Pacers brawl. Look that up. That's probably one of the biggest sports fights of all time. It's got to be. Fans were getting knocked out. There was fans coming down on the court. There was players 4, 5, 6 rows deep up in the bleachers. That was serious. That was serious there. Gray Barbie, thank you for the super chat, sir. Thoughts on UNC Temple? My initial thoughts in that game are to go with Temple. I'll be honest with you. That's my initial thoughts. That doesn't mean that's who I'll pick to win the game. I looked through the whole list of games yesterday with that Bowl Mania thing we're doing, and I remember coming across this game, and my popped into my head right away, take Temple. I may change when the game comes around and I preview the game or whatever, but those are my initial thoughts. Temple is a good team. Not that North Carolina is not, but it's just, listen, it's dangerous. Miami is going to find this out too. It's dangerous. These Power 5 teams that get put in these low-tier bowl games against non-Power 5 teams, the group of 5 teams are not excited to be there. You know, the group, and then the group of 5 teams, nothing makes them happier than beating a Power 5 team. And especially lately, it just seems like motivation plays such a big factor in these bowl games now. I'm going to be honest with you. I think bowl games outside of the playoffs, forget those. That's a separate category. The other bowl games, I think, are some of the hardest games to predict in all of sports. In all of sports, especially predicting them now. You have to wait till literally a day or two before the game because you don't know which players are going to sit out, right? Because they're going to the NFL, they've already quit the team, whatever. So you don't know what players are going to sit out. And it's so hard to factor in motivation in these bowl games. It's almost impossible. I don't feel bad about saying it now. I gave Texas all the credit in the world in the Crow video after they beat us in the Sugar Bowl last year. Texas was nowhere near as good as Georgia last year. I mean, it just wasn't close. And really, they beat Georgia down in that game. I mean, the score ended up being a little bit closer because Georgia scored a couple of garbage touchdowns in the fourth quarter and we ended up losing 28-21. But that game was 28-7, basically. I mean, the game was over. The Georgia-Baylor game could be the same way this year. Like, I don't think I can pick Georgia to beat Baylor this year. Not because I don't think Georgia's better than Baylor. Obviously, I think Georgia's better than Baylor. It's just so hard to take motivation into account in these games. Alabama versus Michigan. I think Alabama's a better team than Michigan. Hard to pick Alabama, though. Hard to pick Alabama. Hard to pick teams that are playing down. And that's what, Alabama wanted to be in the playoffs. Georgia wanted to be in the playoffs. Now they're not. It's hard to figure out. I hate to say it, but how much effort these teams are going to put into these games. We just keep seeing it. Yeah, I'm excited for the Sugar Bowl too. Some people are confusing what I say. I still think Georgia making the Sugar Bowl is great. Georgia's not a dynasty. We've played in one national title game since 1982. I mean, we played for the title in 82, didn't win it. We did win it in 80. It's not like Georgia's made the playoffs one time. I'm still excited to be in the Sugar Bowl. I wanted to be in the playoffs. Of course, everybody wants to be in the playoff. But the Sugar Bowl is still a big game to me. But it's clear to me that the team, Georgia's team, doesn't feel that way. At least they didn't last year. And so it just makes it, and that's not just a Georgia problem. That's a problem in all of college football right now. Outside of Clemson and Alabama, there really aren't any teams that should be looking down on any bowl games, I don't think. Not New Year's Six bowls anyway. Clemson and Alabama have made almost every single playoff. So, okay, you missed the playoff. Yeah, maybe you don't care so much about the Sugar Bowl or, in Clemson's case, the Orange Bowl or whatever, New Year's Six bowl they would be in instead of the playoffs if they were to miss it. But anyone else, I mean, it's like Georgia's made the playoffs one time. So has Michigan State. Okay, so has Oregon. So has Washington. You know what I mean? It's not like we make the playoffs every year, so now it's some huge disappointment that we're in the Sugar Bowl. But that's the way the team made me feel last year, with their performance and their effort in the Sugar Bowl. And it's not just Georgia. This happens a lot of times. You can go back to, Alabama lost to Utah in a Sugar Bowl 7-8 years ago. When they played all season thinking they were going to be in the title game, they missed it by a spot or two at the end, and they got humiliated in the Sugar Bowl by Utah. And Utah wasn't even a Power 5 team then. They're a Power 5 team now. They weren't a Power 5 team then. Auburn losing to UCF. I mean, you just see this all the time. You don't know how much motivation these teams have for some of these bowl games. So I truly think these bowl games, besides the playoffs, I think these bowl games are some of the hardest games in all of sports to predict. You know what it is? Predicting bowl games now or betting on bowl games now is the equivalent of predicting or betting on an NFL preseason game. That's exactly what it's like. NFL preseason games, some players don't play at all. Some play one quarter. Some play one series. Some play one half. The coaches don't care about winning or losing preseason games. They're purely just evaluating individual players. So trying to figure out who's going to win some of these bowl games is about like trying to figure out who would win an NFL preseason game. Honestly, it's just almost impossible to do. So anyway, that's my thoughts on that. In this. Yeah. And also in 2. Oh, don't forget there's no live shows Saturday. I got the schedule up on the screen. I mentioned this on the video yesterday, I think, and last night on the live show. No live shows at all this Saturday. I'm actually going to be out of town, and I'm unable. I won't be able to do the live streams. So no Saturday morning show this Saturday. Now the only game this Saturday is Army versus Navy. I'm probably still going to make a video on that game, maybe tomorrow or Friday. I do like the Army-Navy game, and I hope to still be able to watch the Army-Navy game on Saturday, but I do have obligations Saturday morning out of town, and so I won't be able to do the Saturday morning stream, and I won't be able to do like a live stream during the Army-Navy game or anything like that because of where I'll be and what I'll be doing. But so no live streams at all on Saturday. If I have an opportunity to upload something on Saturday, I will, but I don't really know. And same thing for Sunday. I'm coming home Sunday, but it will probably be late in the afternoon by the time I get home on Sunday. So I'm not sure if there'll be any videos for the weekend. We'll see. But no live show for sure. Anyway. Bowl games mean nothing but practice. I mean, I don't feel that way, but it's just starting to become clear that the teams feel that way. Carol City Kane says, "You racist POS." You instead of being a follower, Carol City Kane, you should find things out for yourself. But I'll tell you what. I'm assuming you saw Alonzo's video this morning, so I tell you what. I will give you $5,000. You have my word. I'm a man of my word. I will give you $5,000 if you can find a clip of me anywhere saying what I said he said, or what he said I said. It didn't happen, and it doesn't exist. So, just because a mouth-breathing retard says something doesn't make it true. You would know that if you yourself weren't a mouth-breathing retard, but you probably are. I'm not sure who Velcros your shoes in the morning. Yeah. But welcome to the channel, though. Bama lost by 5 points to LS Fluke. UJ lost by 4 touchdowns. Well, Alabama hasn't beaten a ranked team in 12 months, sir. So, that tells you all you need to know about Alabama. I tell you what, Jarvis, if you can tell me, because I'm assuming you're trying to say that Bama's a good team because they lost by 5 to LSU, or that they're better than Georgia. If you can find any other team in America that has lost 3 straight games to ranked teams that is also a good team, I'll be willing to listen to your argument. But right now, I can't think of a single good team, definitely not any team better than Georgia, that has lost 3 straight games to ranked teams. Just you. So, no, you're not as good as Georgia this year, and you're just not very good, period, because I can't think of a single good team that has lost 3 in a row to ranked teams. So, but again, if I'm wrong and you can tell me the team that if you can tell me a good team that's lost 3 in a row to ranked teams, I'm willing to listen. But I just don't think there is one, and it's definitely not Alabama. I can tell you that for sure. I can tell you that for sure. Oh, what else is in here? Bama would beat the Dogs today. No, they wouldn't, because the Dogs are ranked. So, no, they wouldn't. Texas is back. Back to what? Yeah, Alonzo1219 called me. I have the voicemail. I played it on the live show last night. He called me, left me a voicemail that he was calling the police on me for being mean to him on YouTube or something. He was calling the police and the GBA, whatever that is. I think he was trying to say the GBI, which is the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, but he kept saying GBA. He's calling the GBA. He's calling the Richland County Police, all this kind of stuff, because I'm mean to him or something. And so that makes him a snitch. So I did call him a snitch ass hoe. And then I went to YouTube and I typed in song about snitch. A rap song came up. I played it. In the rap song that I played, it says the N-word. Well, breaking news, it says the N-word in a lot of rap songs. So anyway, he saw that, because of course he was in the live stream last night when this happened, because he's in every live stream I do. Good morning, Alonzo. Thanks for watching this morning, sir. So of course he immediately makes a video called Uncle Lou is a Racist. That's literally the name of the video. Uncle Lou is a Racist. And then in the video, he says like 100 times, Uncle Lou called me a snitch ass, and then he says the N-word. I never called him that. He knows I never called him that. I called him a snitch ass hoe one time, and then I played a song. I went to YouTube and typed in song about snitch and hit play, and it was a rap song. And in the rap song, they say the N-word, and I guess that's what he's saying. But anyway, I could should I play? I don't know why y'all would want to hear this maniac ramble on and on, but maybe for some reason you do. Look at this. Look. Right here. Uncle Lou is a racist in all caps. All caps. Uncle Lou is a racist.
Now, people always say that I hear Alonzo does this or Alonzo does that. Alonzo does this or Alonzo does that a lot. But at the end of the day, let me explain something. Bro, Uncle Lou last night calling me a snitch nigga, playing a song in the background while he dancing, calling me a snitch nigga, a white guy from the backwoods of Georgia, calling me a snitch nigga. I hope every Georgia recruit see that video. I hope every alumni see that video. You in the background, you had nothing else better to do, and you couldn't articulate yourself any better, so you had to call me a snitch nigga.
Who was on the live stream? Some of y'all were on the live stream last night, right? A lot of y'all probably were. How many people have I banned from this channel for even typing that word in the comments section? 100? More? This guy is out of his mind. This guy's out of his mind. I think, you know what, Tyrants, you might be right. It might have been my sick dance moves that really set him off. See, I challenged him to a dance-off or a rap battle, and he doesn't have the stones to do either one. And then once he saw how strong my robot was, I think that really set him off. I really do. I really do. But what's sad is that he's falling into the trap that people who really are racist want him to fall into. Like, the people who really are racist, they point at things like that and say, "See, all he's doing is crying about." They cry about racism all the time. The people that are really racist, like, that's what they point at stuff like that as their proof or whatever. Uncle Lou didn't say anything racist to that guy. Uncle Lou didn't do anything racist to that guy. Playing a rap song with the N-word in it makes me a racist now. Give me a break. That's completely ridiculous. The guy's a maniac. He has lost his mind. He's on video waving pistols around, pointing them at the thing, going on and on and on about Uncle Lou. He's just completely lost his mind. Completely lost his mind. I honestly feel bad for the kid. I really do. Honestly feel bad for him. And the other lie that I gave his address out. I never gave his address out. And again, I'll give somebody $5,000 if they can show me where I gave his address. I don't know his address. All I know is that he either lives in or around Columbia, South Carolina, because he talks about it all the time. So I called him the N-word. That's a lie. I gave his address out. That's a lie. The guy's just completely full of it. He's just completely lost his mind. I mean, losing to FIU, I guess, will do that to you. I don't know, but should have played 2 live crew. That would have really set him off. They love Uncle Luke, don't they, the Miami fans? Probably so. Anyway, all right, I'm going to end the stream. It's 9 o'clock. Appreciate you guys tuning in this morning. What's today? Wednesday? Next live show will be Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. That'll be the call-in show. So tomorrow night at 10. Then we'll do this morning show again on Friday morning at 8. And that'll be it for the live shows this week because there are no live shows on Saturday this week, like I mentioned, because I'll be out of town. But I really appreciate you guys tuning in this morning, and I'll see you again real soon.